And whenever Bam Bam and Selangor played in Malaysian League, the stadiums used to be full. And it was filled by Indonesian fans living in Malaysia or some fans traveling from Indonesia to watch the match. So, you can understand, Indonesian fans, football fans supporting a Malaysian club in Malaysia, which is a rare thing. But what I'm trying to say is it connects. Football connects people. It unites people as well. And that's how I was lucky enough to, play in different parts. I happened to play in Vietnam as well. And I found the country very, very beautiful. The people, especially, were very simple, very hardworking. I had a contract offered from Singapore as well, which I couldn't go and play. But, Singapore is one of the most beautiful cities in the world today. So what I'm trying to say here is, obviously, the ASEAN region as such is very passionate about football. So is India and the region Northeast here. And ASEAN countries and as well as India, we have a lot of professional leagues that's happening in football. And I only wish that we get players from this region to play in our own country, because I think if you look at footballers right now, whether it be in India, whether it be in Thailand, Indonesia, or Malaysia, we're looking players from Brazil, South America, or Africa to bring in. But I feel that we have talent in ASEAN countries as well as India. And it's important that we definitely try and promote and support the players across this region to come and play, because it only benefits and helps the nation, ASEAN and India, the relationship which is already better and stronger, to make it even better. So I hope in future that ASEAN and India Summit will also exchange a lot of sports and share a lot of sports activity across ASEAN and India, because I feel through sports is the only way the youth of today can connect culturally and socially. So thank you and have a wonderful stay in Assam, and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
Say to whatever you more comfortable.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. Indeed, it gives me pleasure and honor Assam. I am also honored to sharing this podium with other honorable speakers to address the summit. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to say that the ASEAN, the Southeast Asian countries and India have been very close throughout the history. Since the time of Rama and Sinta, the Pandawa Five and Kauravas, since our sailors, traders, religious teachers, and learned men arrive in each other's source. We have been connected since long time. We shared and supported each other's diversity, pluralism, and tolerance. Both ASEAN and India experience what it means to be ethnically, racially, religiously, and politically rich and diverse. ASEAN and India have established good connection. India is the ASEAN's sixth largest trading partner since in 2017. Both sides should fully tap the potential offered by the vast market of ASEAN and India. Therefore, it is important to deepening ASEAN-India connectivity cooperation in line with the master plan of ASEAN Connectivity 2025. ASEAN and India need to build stronger cooperation in economic, social, cultural, among government, communities, and the people in order to achieve the prosperity together. Ladies and gentlemen, youth of ASEAN and India, our rich and diverse ethnicities, tribe, culture, and languages will make us stronger and better able to deal with many modern challenges. The biggest potential that we have and yet to be unblocked is the massive youth population who are next generation and future leaders. According to United Nations Fund for Population Activities, India has the largest youth population and will continue to have the youngest population in the world till 2030. India is experiencing a demographic window of opportunity, a youth bulge that will last till 2025. In number, India has about 600 million young people below the age of 25, while Southeast Asia has about 213 million youth population, and Indonesia alone has around 65 million youth. Imagine the vast possibilities that can be achieved through the connectiveness of India youth and Southeast Asia youth. Indonesia, as a member of ASEAN, together with India, have to explore potential to enhance connectivity through social, cultural development and economic cooperation. At today's digital world, connecting people and enhancing information is very easy, especially with the use of information technology through fast-paced communication channels, such as news sites, blog, forums, and social media like Facebook. Facebook, for example, as the #1 social media platform with about 2.2 billion worldwide users, its largest audience from India, followed by US and Indonesia. Not only it is used to share information about oneself, but has emerged as a marketing and business platform as well, gathering income for many people with its large audience, especially from India and Indonesia, could bring these two nations closer, connecting people across space and time. Not only Facebook, but other social media platforms, namely Instagram, Twitter, etc., or through other means of communication like WhatsApp, Skype, Google Hangout, and so on. These means of connectivity could benefit us all as in information capacity building, enhanced cooperation in disaster management and emergency response, climate change, exchange of expertise in the fields of biodiversity, health and pandemic preparedness and response, education, youth culture, and people-to-people exchange program. Gathering information from one part of the world to another does not take seconds, but nanoseconds. The usage of information and reposting or resharing information needs to be used wisely, as number of fake news and hoax message and news have been widespread truly in multicultural countries, like in Southeast Asia, like in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. Flaming intolerance, hatred, even political instability. Therefore, the role of youth are crucial to battling the fake news. As mentioned by our foreign minister, Indonesian foreign minister, Mrs. Retno Marsudi, the youth of Asia, as an agent of peace, as beacon of tolerance, and as an engine of economic power growth. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, Indonesia and India celebrate its 70 years bilateral relation. We, India and Indonesia, found potential of development of economic cooperation for its from its strategic location. There are numerous economic potential and opportunities which can be explored further by business circle, among others, tourism, particularly cruise tourism, ecotourism, air connectivity and sea connectivity, energy, agriculture and plantation, fishery, education, infrastructure, and even outbound investment. For better growth of the region, Indonesia is expecting more connectivity programs between India and ASEAN countries and to be implemented in the future, especially involving youth participation to bring their ideas and tangible works. Finally, present in this prestigious summit are participants from Indonesia who has the opportunity to deliver the presentation to enhance views with Indian youth and other youth from ASEAN countries. To participants from Indonesia, I hope from this forum you can bring home your ideas and innovation to your work in Indonesia, so you can contribute more from your expertise to enhance the connectivity among ASEAN and India youth. And to all participants, I hope through this forum together from ASEAN and India, inspiration, empower others, and become agent of change in your respective field. Thank you.
Thank you to both the speakers. We will now open this session to a Q&A. Just as a matter of hygiene, please raise your hand. Give a short, just brief introduction about yourself, the country you come from, and your name. And then please let us know to whom is the question directed. And please keep your questions short. So I now open the session to the house. Please feel free to ask either of the speakers any questions that you may have on the topic. Do I see any hands going up? While this always takes a bit of a time to get warmed up, so let me then in that event at least start asking the first question, and then hopefully people will pick it up from there. My question, ma'am, to you first is that, you talked about sort of, socio-cultural connectivity between our ASEAN countries has always, as you also mentioned, has been something of, has always historically existed. It is not something which is new. But in today's context, particularly in the context of youth, with all this technology, with all common platforms, which have completely, so in some ways, increased the awareness of people about each other's regions through things like Facebook and all. But at the same hand, in some ways diluted the novelty that people had when they met people from different countries with different cultures. How do you see that in the years to come? How will this kind of interaction between the youth happen in light of these technological changes?
Thank you very much. I see that nowadays digital is very popular, especially among the young people. So I think with the digital, young people from from each country, if they gather together, they want to connect each other to doing their business and so on. I think it's not need too much time. They don't want to spend a lot of time, but it's in a second they can connect each other to do what they need. I think that's what I mean. Exactly.
Thank you. Do we have, we have a question there.
Thank you for your presentation. A question for you, Her Excellency. I would like to ask you, India and Indonesia is sharing very good cultural ties. When you go to Bali, you find Indian sculpture on every square. So what Indonesian government taking initiative to preserve those ties in terms of language? Because most of the words in Indonesia, it belongs to Sanskrit language. They're similar to Sanskrit language. So we have civilization similarities, cultural similarities, and sculpture. So what initiatives Indonesian government is taking to preserve that?
Yeah. As we have heard from the discussion before, that the speaker said that Indonesia Indonesia's religious is Muslim, but their culture are Hindus. That means that the Hindus religion has come there a long time ago, since the Rama, Sinta, and that. Nowadays, in our 70 years bilateral relation, we are going to celebrate what you call the Bali Yatra, that we will send from Odisha to Bali, and the ship will arrive there, and then that's one thing especially the Bali government will support us to do that event. And in that, another thing that's the government of, especially from the province of Bali, they will send a statue of, to put in near the Ganga River there. That means that we have a good relation between India and Bali, especially Indonesia, especially with Bali. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Aditya. I'm from the south of India. So since the theme is connectivity, and we had a lot of discussions on how do we connect for prosperity. So my question is, how do we connect in terms of losses or difficulties that we face? So we know that when we had a tsunami back then, a lot of our Asian countries were affected. And we have read, in fact, most of us have read how people from individual nations have supported their governments to help their own people. But I personally have never read any article wherein maybe the nation of India, we support Indonesia when they have a, let's say, if there's some kind of a volcanic eruption or there's an earthquake. So as ASEAN, if you're talking about connectivity, has there been any efforts or any attempts by the embassies to approach other nations for help? And has India itself, from our own end, done something to ease others when they have difficulties?
Yes, that was in 2014, if I don't mistake, the tsunami. 2004, sorry, yeah, it happened. And at that time, I was in embassy. I remember we have contact the government, and the Indian government sent what do you call the ship, medical ship, to help the, especially the people in Aceh province.
We have, I saw another hand. Somebody else had a question? After.
Hello. 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 So, hello. Sorry? Okay. So, hello everyone. Hi, my name is Lalit Gautam, and being a big fan of football, and sir, Bhutia sir, I'm not going to ask you like why we have failed to make hundreds of Baichung Bhutia in India. But what are the technical problem in connectivity? Like, because in sports, connectivities play a very important role. And being a bigger country like India, we have a lot of reasons and all. This football is very limited to the eastern part of India, or maybe like a little bit in the southern part, like in the Goa. So what are the three things reasons or the obstacles you have, like, as per you, what are the three major obstacles that making us to fail a world-class football team? And like, when we can expect a India qualify for the World Cup?
I wish I could tell you the date and time. I think, yes, one of the biggest challenges as a sports person in India is, and especially football, is to create a culture for sports and especially for football. I think being in Northeast, born in Northeast, we still have that culture and interest with football here. But I think overall in India, I think we need to create that culture, because until and unless we don't generate interest within the younger generation, then it becomes very difficult to produce great hockey players, football players all across India. And if we can create that atmosphere, I think that's where we'll have a lot of kids playing. And I think that has just started, because I think if you're looking at a lot of young parents right now, and I'm one of them, I think the younger parents now are really looking and focusing on the kids to actually take up sports, just not as profession, but also to stay and live healthy. And once you start making kids play different sports, I think more number of kids playing, the more talent you get to see. And I think that's what we need to create, especially in India. We need to create that culture of sports. Yes, infrastructure and facilities are difficult, but that's all across the world. If you compare South America and Africa in terms of sports infrastructure, it's still the same. But I think just that interest and passion within the community and people are so much, and that's how the sports person gets produced. So I think number one challenge in India is to create that atmosphere in different areas, different states. And second is obviously getting those talent identified, nurtured, and giving that platform. I think that is what it's lacking a bit. So if we can start creating culture and identifying the talent and giving that support, I'm sure we'll have a lot of good footballers and other sports person coming as well.
There's a question here.
Hello. My name is Shriparna Pathak, and I'm a visiting professor at Guwahati University. My question is for Baichung Bhutia sir. So it's a very random question actually. My husband is a football player, but it's only at the level of college, etc. We have a daughter, and we think that we want to make her play football. But how do we get the information regarding women's football? Because honestly, I haven't come across information on women playing football. I still might get some information about the men's football team, but how exactly do we go about it? What exactly happens? Where does this information come from? Thank you.
See, again, that's what I was speaking about. I think, one good thing is obviously you're encouraging your daughter to play football and sports, but at the same time, I think people concerned with the sport also needs to make sure that, you're creating that space and you're creating that environment, you're giving that opportunity to go and train. So I think this is something which obviously we, in India we started working, especially with football. I've worked with Football Federation in India, and over the years I think it's changing, it's improving. I think for us, 2017 Under 17 World Cup was one of the biggest change for us, because when we hosted Under 17 World Cup, that was the time I think India invested quite a lot in grassroots football. And I think with Federation as well, Indian Football Federation right now is investing quite a lot, just not in men's, but also in women football. And in fact, women football team is much higher ranked than Indian football, men football team. So I strongly feel women football team is going to play FIFA World Cup much before than Indian men football team. So yes, I think it's important for the state as a state football association, district football association, and the sports department in Assam to make sure that girls are also given that opportunity, because good thing with the younger generation in India today, a lot of kids are playing football, and it's good to really see a lot of girls taking up sport, because I have my own football school centers, and I've got a lot of girls actually coming and training. So hopefully I'm sure you will get that support from the state associations or the sports department, and I'm sure you please don't stop her from playing. That's the only thing. You need to encourage and keep pushing her to play.
Thank you. So I have a question for both of the speaker. And first of all, you are our ideal. So, sir, first question from you. What do you think, like the status of cricket in India, cricket, like the cricket, how it's connected to every section of India, and there's another craze for the cricket. What do you think in the past? What was, was the government was responsible, and what was the reason, the football was not able to connect with the citizens, the youngster. We can see nowadays Kabaddi. So take an example of the Kabaddi. Kabaddi, the popularity of the Kabaddi is much more than the popularity of the, football. Okay. So what do you think, what was the reason where we are lacking, and football is, popular in the northeast state and not in the, the northern part of the India, even southern part of India is playing football, and they have. So, and the second question to ma'am, it's been always pleasure to meet you in Delhi or here. So, Bali is a perfect, honeymoon destination for Indians, So, but we never seen, in Indonesia, so, going out of the way, to culturally, connect with India. Out of the box, and the knowledge transfer, the technology transfer. Indonesia never tried, insisted for that, to connect with the government,
So, okay, I'll take the first question. I think why in India, why cricket is followed obviously much more than football or any other sport is because I think, cricket is played, and I think cricket performance-wise for the national team is much better than, not all the sport, but much better than a lot of the other sports. And I think people connect to winning teams, because when you have India representing people, everybody, we all want to see the nation winning, country winning, and people connect with when you win. And for cricket, sadly but truly, I think it's played within 8 countries. So, and if you look at the cricket, if you look at the game itself, I think in South Asia, it's the sport that is growing. But rest of the countries like England, if you look at England, Australia, even New Zealand, West Indies now, cricket is slowly dying out sport. So when a country as a nation wins, people easily connect. But for football, it's definitely a bigger challenge, because I'm sure a lot of the ASEAN countries would agree with me, because I think the amount of passion, love, and the infrastructure and financially, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore would spend on football is definitely, I think, a little more than India. But it's important for the country to win. If you don't win, then people don't really connect. And for football to really do well, football is only a sport that is global sport right now. And let's be honest, because it's difficult. Today we've got only 4 teams from Asia that qualifies to play for the World Cup. And we've got around 60 countries from Asia competing for that 4th spot. And on top of that, we've got Australia now coming in, playing in Asia to qualify. So the challenges are more. So until and unless the national team doesn't do well and start winning, people really don't follow it. And Kabaddi, as you mentioned, I think Kabaddi does well, and they won Asian Games, they've been doing well, and people connect with winning teams. For football, I think it's still a challenge because it's a global sport. Every country plays, it's got more members in FIFA than United Nations. So when you don't win, I think people don't tend to connect with the winning ways. But hopefully, I think the way football now, with kind of investment, kind of leagues that's happening, with also, I think, the government of India putting, increasing the budget for sports this year, sports definitely looks good. And we need to keep working, we need to keep motivating and creating that environment for the kids to play. And hopefully, I think it can happen.
Concerning the Bali is still in Bali. What we are going, they didn't come to here. And what I want to say that every year, every festival, religious festival here, there's a lot of Balis, the Hinduism come here. Just last week, around more than 100 people came here. They went to Varanasi, Ganga, if I don't mistake. So they are always come here, but maybe we didn't expose their presence here, so that's why it's not exposed in the paper, and then so even not just the religious what we call the religious festival, but the dancer, and even we have a festival, cultural show, and then we always invite the Balinese dancer to come here, and even the food festival, we promote the Balinese culinary. I think that.
Do I see any more hands? I think we're also running out of time. So if there are no, there's some question? Okay, please go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. My name is Eli Mustika. I'm from Indonesia. I just want to completely about Indonesia. So you're asking me, asking the Indonesian about why Indonesia didn't promote the tourism of India to Indonesia, right? To India, I mean. So when you know about Bali, I already talked to you that Bali is part of Indonesia. And I also always tell my friends from Indonesia, if you go to India, please don't only look at Agra or Taj Mahal, because there are so many explorers, the Indian tourisms, that you can come and you can learn about the Indian culture. It's not only thinking about the Indian movie. So I think this is not relevant because we have so many tourism destinations, not only Bali. So that's why this is my 5th time come to India. Then I explore to culture. I learned about the Indian culture. That's why I know. Agra is beautiful places, but I'm not promoting Agra only to my friends or my governments, because India has so many beautiful destinations. It's not Agra. Kerala is good. Bengali is good. And Kashmir is also very good and amazing. So that's why they are very interesting. Go to Ladakh, I mean, and Hyderabad, because Hyderabad is, there are Ramoji Film City, right? And Indonesia is so concerned about Bollywood. So that's why I'm asking them, please don't only talk about Bollywood and Agra, because India, बहुत सुंदर है, just like Indonesia. Thank you, Nova.
Before we end this session with this interesting comment, I would like to request the chair for the session, Sri Shaurya Doval, to kindly felicitate the speakers. Ms. Fienje Marije Suibu first. Thank you, sir. Shri Baichung Bhutia. I would like to request the audience to remain seated. We'll start with the country presentations next.
Now we will have the 5 remaining country presentations. I would request the Myanmar delegates to please come on the dais and make their presentation. Myanmar delegates, please come to the stage. They first want to introduce themselves, so please.
Namaskar, Minglaba, good evening everyone. Actually, we are very delighted to participate in this great event. Don't worry, we are not going to present all the whole presentation by all these people. We just want to participate and stand here to represent our country. So I would like to introduce first. My name is Hoa Lui and I'm an architect. I've been working in Yangon Heritage Trust as a program officer for the building projects. Actually, there are some people of our delegates, some are freelance artists and cultural students from the University of Cultural University. So let me introduce yourself, please.
I am Chamawojo. I am from Myanmar. Yes.
Hello, I'm very good to see you all. My name is Thi Da Singh. I'm that year student from National University of Arts and Culture.
Good evening. My name is Lila Yeranaki, and I'm from National University of Arts and Culture, mainly I'm studying painting.
Hello everyone, my name is Toto Chit. I am dramatic art student from National University of Art and Culture. Thank you.
Good evening everyone, my name is Yu Yuna. I am a park clerk, work for the Ministry of Religious Affairs and Culture. Thank you.
I am Zominte. I am a musician.
Minglaba. And Medukai, I'm a songwriter and a singer. Thank you. As a representative of our country, Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, I would like to present information about our country. Yeah, this is the contents. I'm going to present you background, political structure, economy, culture, heritage, tourism, traditional festival, sports, and food. Our country, Myanmar, Golden Land. Officially, full name is Republic of the Union of Myanmar, also known as Burma before 1989. it's happened like golden land because we have a pagoda, and it's golden pagoda. We have a lot of, plenty of golden pagoda, so we call ourselves golden land. As you know, our country is a Southeast Asian nation of more than 100 of ethnic groups. It's bordered by India and Bangladesh to its east and China to its north and northeast. There are groups into 8 major ethnic races with 135 distinct ethnic groups. As you see in the picture, we have Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Chin, Mon, Pama, and Rakhine and Shan. Now I'm wearing is Pama national costume. Yangon is the largest city and was old capital city of Myanmar. Naypyidaw is now modern capital city of Myanmar. Our population estimated at about 53.5 million according to 2017 census. Myanmar language is our major language, and English is also widely used in Myanmar. Ethnics also using their languages too, such as Kayin language, Mon language, Kachin language, and so on. Currency is with Myanmar Jet, MMK, and okay, currency is with Myanmar. And Buddhism is our main major religion. We also have Christianity, Islam, tribal religions, Hinduism, and others. As you see in the picture, this is Sule Pagoda, located at downtown of Yangon City. And there's Muslim mosque and also Christian church. Shows that we all live in peace. We have tropical monsoon climate, diversity of condition, and have 3 seasons, summer, raining, and winter. Rich in natural resources. The first line you see in the slide are the top natural resources of Myanmar: rubies, sapphires, pearls, jade, and petroleum. We also have other resources like timber, tin, zinc, copper, etc. This is our national flag, yellow, green, and red, means solidarity, peace and tranquility, courage and decisiveness. Our government system is parliamentary system with a bicameral legislature and executive president. Our president now is U Win Min. Okay. Our government system is parliamentary. Oh, okay. Legislature called Pirangzu Ludo, Assembly of the Union, made out of 2 houses, upper house called Amyoda Ludo, House of Nationalities, and lower house called Pirangzu Ludo, House of Representative. We have, okay, this is our ruling party, NLD, National League for Democracy, had won with landslide victory in the 2015 general election with massive public support. It's successfully moving forward to a political transition from a close military rule to a free democratic system. I'm sure you all know our mother, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi, daughter of our great and respected General Aung San. She is our state councillor of Myanmar since 2016, de facto leader and president of NLD, National League for Democracy, the mother of Myanmar and our beacon of hope. We have 7 regions and 7 states: Ayeyarwady, Bago, Magwe, Mandalay, Sagaing, the Ninh Dai, and Yangon region. Chin, Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Mon, Rakhine, and Shan states. Our foreign policy is independent and active, taking a non-allied, independent, and just stand in international issues, maintaining friendly relationship with neighboring countries. Myanmar began its journey with ASEAN on 23rd July 1997 and ASEAN Chairmanship of 2014, moving forward in unity to a peaceful and prosperous community. Our economy is market-oriented economy, sustainable development of agriculture toward industrialization and all-around development, equitable and proportionate development among region and states, inclusive development of entire people, quality of statistic and statistical system, vision developing national economy through trade. This is our cultural heritage site in Myanmar. Oh, okay, tourism. Our tourism life traditionally based on culture. We have plenty of pagodas, temples, and monuments, natural attractions, like we have snow-capped mountains, deep forests, cool and scenic places, long rivers, beautiful lakes, and many unspoiled beaches and archipelagos. 135 different national races and their unique traditional way of life, arts, and craft. This is our famous ancient king city, Bagan. And you can see the sunset view at Bagan. And this is Inle Lake. And Inle Lake is very popular lake at Shan Stage. This is Mandalay City, and this is Ubay Bridge from Mandalay Festival. Myanmar calendar subscribe to both lunar, solar, and some of the countrywide festival. We show here, like we have so many festivals, like the Bora Full Moon Day, Tamane Festival, the Bang Full Moon Day, Tinjan Water Festival, Myanmar New Year Festival, Kasong Full Moon Day, and Botri Watering Festival, Water Rope Offering Festival, and Tambyong Festival, the Ninja Festival, Katane Tingan Offering Festival. Myanmar Tinjan Festival is very popular, and the whole nation wide join the festival, and also my favorite, takes place toward the end of hot, dry season, April, and usually in the Myanmar New Year. Symbolize, Myanmar people believe and symbolize the washing away the previous year's bad luck and sins. After praying around and having fun, this is also Myanmar New Year. Tinjan is our Myanmar New Year. And New Year Day, all the people and pagoda, all the people clean the pagoda and monastery and make donation and life-saving charity. You can see these tools are our signature food. Very famous and served for various kind of special occasion. Mohinga, it's served with fish soup, boiled egg, fish cake, fish sauce, and so on. And you can see lapat is like a sprinkled tea leaf, served with sesame oil, fried garlic, roasted peanut, ginger, and dry shrimp with a dish of oil. Myanmar traditional snacks. We have plenty of Myanmar traditional snacks. Our sports are Chinlong, also known as cane ball, national sports of Myanmar. Typically 6 people playing together at one team. It is normally made from hand-woven rattan. Myanmar traditional sport, Chinlong. This is our traditional costume. Next slide. Okay. This is our Myanmar culture dance. And we would like to demonstrate our Myanmar dance as we have arts and culture students and artists in our groups. Also, I'm a singer. I'd like to present you our Tinjan song called Myanmar. It's a very famous song, and we always used to sing and dance at the ceremony. I hope you enjoy. And you can clap if you like. No, not now. With the beat. Music, please. Cho biểu xuyên nó mà biểu nghe, từ cô lâu phiền cho là bù đê, nhiều mà nè tâm mi đê toa lưu, su rõ mê quê. Cho biểu xuyên nó mà biểu nghe, từ cô lâu phiền cho là bù đê, nhiều mà nè tâm mi đê toa lưu, su rõ mê quê. A mokali ta ta ne miao lu pi ra ma hok pu kwe. A mokali ta ta ne miao lu pi ra ma hok pu kwe. Yin sa sa ne mien lai ya ra a wit sa ma be alone tin ne. Yin sa sa ne mien lai ya ra a wit sa ma be alone tin ne. Chop the sa la yao che kanyara puela balune chop the sa la yao che kanyara puela balune yo yo ta da ne tuk tuk yo ma ga che na che nya na na ni nyo nyo ye kha tan no shri ma down ye du khu me pyu yu ri mya li ye na 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 ni nyo nyo ye kha tan no shri ma down ye du khu me pyu pyu ri ye myo kin le ta ba bi ye a tit kaung yu me nyu u tha ro we.
A big round of applause for the Myanmarese delegate led by Ms. May Thu Khain. Now I would request the Philippines delegates to please come on the dais and make their presentation.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Nina, one of the delegates from the Philippines, and it is an honor to represent the Philippines, to introduce the Philippines to all of you here tonight. So good evening, excellencies, colleagues. Thank you for giving us a chance to give a short introduction to the beautiful islands of the Philippines here in India. So to start, okay. My colleague said to hold on. Okay, thank you. So to start, the Philippines is an archipelago composed of 7,107 islands, divided into 3 main island groups, which is Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And our capital is Metro Manila, which bears the distinction of being one of the most, if not the most, densely populated cities on Earth. We also have over 107 million people, and most of which is concentrated in the northern island, which is Luzon. And We also have a generally tropical climate with two distinct seasons, the wet and dry. And we also celebrate our independence from Spain every 12th of June. And the national language is Filipino, even though we have around 80 major language groups and over 500 dialects. Our government type is a democratic republic, wherein the government's power is equally divided among its three branches: the executive, which is led by the president, currently President Rodrigo Duterte, and the legislative, which is headed by the Congress, divided into the lower House of Representatives and the Senate, and the third branch is the judicial, headed by our Supreme Court. So the Philippines' per capita GDP was $2,891 in 2017, and it sustained a 6.1% GDP growth in early 2018. And this is a quick overview of the Philippines' trade in goods in 2018. So our top exports are electronic products, semiconductors, and the like. We also export machinery and transport equipment, as well as metal components. And these all go to the USA, Hong Kong, and Japan, while we import mainly electronic products, mineral products, and other petroleum goods. And we also import a lot of transport equipment. And these come from China, South Korea, and Japan. Next, please. So, as with any nation, the Philippines has its own share of what we consider our national symbols. So, we have our national tree, the Nara, our national flower, the Sampaguita, the national bird, the Philippine eagle, or the monkey-eating eagle, our national gem, Philippine pearls, and the national sport, anise, and our national fast food, which I hope you're all familiar with, Jollibee. And tourism is also one of the Philippines' biggest industries, with over 12% of our GDP contributed by tourism-related industries. So to give you a quick overview of where you can go in the Philippines, it's a large place with a lot of places you can go to, but quickly, in Metro Manila, you can go to Rizal Park, which is over 58 hectares, and it's also known as Luneta Park, which is named after our national hero, Jose Rizal. There's also the newly opened National Museum of Natural History, which houses depictions of the Philippines' biospheres, ranging from mangrove forests to cloud forests and rainforests. And there's also Intramuros, symbolized here by Fort Santiago. It is the ancient walled city of Manila. Next, we have the northern Luzon. We also have the Manila Bay Sunset. Manila Bay is recently undergoing a rehabilitation. So if you want to go see this view, please do so. And for the northern part of Luzon, we have the Bangi Wind Farms, which supplies over 50% of Ilocos Norte's electricity, and it is set up along the coast. This is free. You can visit it whenever you want, although it is best seen when the sun is up. And there's also the Vegan Heritage City, which was established back in the 16th century and is the best preserved example of a planned Spanish colonial town in Asia. And there's also the Banawe rice terraces, which are made by hand and follows the contours of the mountains. It is over 2,000 years old, and it is a product of the Ifugao people. Next is Palawan, which houses some of the best well-known images of the Philippines. So this is Kayangan Lake in Coron. Next is El Nido, which has the big lagoon and small lagoon, and also the Puerto Princesa underground river, which is reputed to be the world's longest subterranean river. Next, we also have Mount Mayon, which is the most active volcano in the Philippines. Despite the clear and present danger an active volcano presents, Mount Mayon still receives a lot of visitors due to its proximity to the capital, and it's also famous for its almost perfect conical shape. Next is the Visayas, wherein we go to Cebu. We have Magellan's Cross, which is believed to be a Christian cross planted by Portuguese and Spanish explorers headed by Magellan. There is also a monument of the Leyte landing, which commemorates the liberation of the Philippines from Japanese occupation during the Second World War. There is also the Chocolate Hills, which only look chocolate during dry weather. Most of the time they look green. And there's also the Sinulog Festival, which commemorates the Santo Niño, and it also commemorates the pagan past of the Philippines and being converted to Christianity. Next, we head on over to Mindanao, wherein we have Mount Apo, which is the highest peak in the Philippines. It is also a national park that hosts a lot of other natural sites. There are a lot of falls, lakes in the area that can be visited in the vicinity of Mount Apo. There's also the Pink Mosque in Maguindanao. It was sponsored by the local government in an effort to promote peace in the region. And lastly, a well-known symbol of Mindanao in the Philippines is the Vinta boats, which are made by the Baha and Moro peoples. Next, please. So, being as we are in India, this is a quick overview of Philippines and India bilateral relations. So, India is the 14th largest trading partner of the Philippines, and our top exports to India include unrefined copper, input and output units, and also we import from India light petroleum oils, components for motorcycles, and there are 3,145 mostly high-skilled Filipino workers currently working here in India. So we have a short video to play to sum up what we've seen so far.
Fun. Philippine Islands. It's more fun in the Philippines. in the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines.
You think we'd be done with that, but my colleagues are here to give a short glimpse, a small glimpse of our culture through one of our dances. Thank you, ladies.
Tara na kanta na Pilipinas, ipakita na ang galing ng Pilipino. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas, oh, tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Tara na Pilipinas, kanta na Pilipinas. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas, ipakita na ang galing ng Pilipino. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas, oh, tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Saan man dako, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, tinig mo ay sadyang kahanga-hanga. Awit mo ay salamin ng iyong buhay, aawitin ng buong bansa. Ang galing mo, kapatid, kailanman buong bansa ngayon ay kakanta. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas, ipakita na ang galing ng Pilipino. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas,
A big round of applause for the Philippines delegates. Now I would request the Singapore delegates to please come on the dais and make their presentation.
Mic test.
Okay. Namaskar.
Selamat petang.
Vanakkam.
下午好.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ming Siu.
I'm Manasa.
And together, we're from Singapore.
So before we start our presentation, we have a short video about Singapore. So sit back and enjoy the video.
There is no place like this.
There is no
place like this. This is the place.
This is the place I call home.
Our home.
This is where 1212 and 112 are not just dancing steps. Where our back streets live on as galleries and museums. This is where we live amongst trees, carve them out of metal, and make them electric. Where impossibilities lead us to endless possibilities. This is where old school, new school, and what no school can teach come together. Here, every day is a new canvas. The old school cool. This is where rhymes, chimes, and the daily grime meet. There's no place. This is where who you were will not be who you will become. This is where all that you're passionate about, all that drives you, is made possible. This is where passion is made possible.
This is your stage.
Hope all of you enjoyed that video. So that video was by Singapore Tourism Board to show the different facets of a Singaporean life. So since our topic for this Youth Summit is about connectivity, we have two approaches. I'll be telling you more about the different types of connectivities within the Singapore community, and Ming Siu will be telling you about the different types of connectivities with India and ASEAN. So as for Singapore, I have four main connectivities. The first one would be the urban and the nature connectivity that we have. So if you take a ride down from Changi International Airport to anywhere, the first thing you would see is the lush greenery on your right and the left. And about 5 kilometers later, you would see the beautiful skyline that Singapore has. So basically, Singapore has ensured that there's nature as well as urban development at the same time, making us a garden city, or rather a city in the garden. And the second connectivity that I want to talk about is about the financial connectivity between the different banks in Singapore. So Singapore is trying to move towards a cashless society, so basically cashless transactions. And this is made through the connections between the different banks that we have, and we came up with a system called the PayNow system. So basically if you take a Uber, or if you go to a shopping center, or if you want to just pay for a meal of your friend, you don't have to use cash anymore. It's just done immediately electronically. And hence this financial connection between the banks has made transactions a lot faster and a lot more efficient as well. And the third connectivity, which a lot of people know about, is the physical connectivity. And when I say physical connectivity, it's the beautiful infrastructure that we have. And infrastructure meaning the transport system. The transport system, our MRT lines, our metro stations, which we know in India. We have a lot of lines, and this is modeled after the United Kingdom system. So basically, every single part of Singapore is connected. And honestly, the travel from one place to another, one end to another, wouldn't be more than an hour by public transport. Yes, it's great that we are small, but it's also a lot of effort which has gone into the planning, urban planning, and yeah, that's due to our government's planning system. You see the MRT lines there, they are a bit small. So if you see the red line and the green line, those were the lines which first came up. And the yellow line, which is known as the circle line, and there's a purple one, those are the more recent ones. So in the next 2 years, we are having newer lines which would be connecting the other ends of Singapore as well. And we also have a lot of social infrastructure in terms of hospitals, in terms of schools, and family service centers. This to ensure that every Singaporean citizen can receive help right at his doorstep. Like, we don't want him to transport? We don't want him to go very far to look for help. So our social infrastructure and our physical infrastructure is very good. And the last one, which is the most important part about Singapore, is our social connectivity, also known as the multicultural connectivity that we have. So all of you know that we have 4 main languages, which is English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil. We also have 4 main races, the Chinese, Malay, Indians, and the Eurasians. But the best part about it is that we don't just coexist, but we thrive together as one Singapore. I know, as cliche as it sounds, but honestly, we actually coexist and we really thrive together. So to give you more example, right, we have one of our Singaporean delegates who is Chinese, and she is a professional Bharatanatyam dancer, actually. So, yeah. Yeah, that's Mei Fei for y'all. Mei Fei. So, yeah, sorry that we couldn't perform today, but yes, she actually practices and she teaches Bharatanatyam now. So that's how professional she is. And we have Chinese delegates who speak Hindi, then we have Indian delegates who speak Mandarin. So we don't just understand or appreciate, but we make an effort to immerse ourselves into the different cultures that we have. And this is because it doesn't start like when we are in university. We have multicultural classes from the young age of 3. So like my kindergarten classes were with Chinese, Malays, and Indians as well. So it is a deep-rooted thing in our culture, and that's why we are able to embody the spirit of multiculturalism. And it is also further exemplified by the second language policy that we have. So if you see our delegates here, we are not only well-versed in English, but we also have a second language, or our mother tongue, that we are proficient in. So for myself, it will be Tamil. For Mingxiu, it is Chinese Mandarin. So we also have third language policies to ensure that we remain connected to other regions in ASEAN and even India. So multiculturalism, that's our biggest identity. And moving on to our next slide, where you see Singapore, we are a small little red dot, but in terms of the global perspective, since we are small, we believe that we need to always remain relevant to all our countries. And I think Mingxiu will be talking more about it now. Yes, to Mingxiu.
Thank you, Munt. My name is Mingxiu, and I'll be touching on the connectivity between Singapore with ASEAN and India. Firstly, we have the ASEAN Smart Cities Network. So the ASEAN Smart Cities Network is actually a framework prepared and facilitated by Singapore during our chairmanship last year in 2018. It recognizes that technological and digital solutions can be utilized to enhance the quality and accessibility of services, improvement of citizens' lives, and ensure sustainable urban development. The ASEAN Smart Cities Network will synergize the efforts of ASEAN states and bring their smart cities together, thereby contributing to ASEAN community building. Through this, ASEAN members can come together to explore potential complementaries and collaborations, share best practices, develop individualized action plans for smart city development from 2018 to 2025. This is to coincide with the ASEAN Community Vision 2025. Together with India, we also have the Singapore-India Smart City Initiative at Amaravati, capital of Andhra Pradesh. Is it correct? Okay, right. So the consortium of Singapore companies, Ascendus, Singbridge, Sembcorp companies that have worked on other government-to-government projects in China are actually working on this project. So we actually have inbound and outbound missions organized by Singapore Business Federation, with 7 firms expressing intent to incorporate their technologies into the Welcome Gallery. There's also the cooperation in capacity building in the urban planning sector. Secondly, we are also involved in the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance Center. Disaster management is actually another example of how enhanced connectivity with Singapore and ASEAN. The AHA Center pulls together resources and ensures a timely response to crisis. The AHA Center partners with international organizations, private sector, and civil society organizations such as the Red Cross and Red Crescent Movement and the United Nations. Multilateral cooperation has also been established with ASEAN Dialogue development sectoral partners, including Australia, China, European Union, Germany, Japan, New Zealand, Switzerland, and the United States of America. In the event of large-scale disasters such as the 2013 Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, the AHA Center works closely with the Secretary General of ASEAN, who will perform the role as the ASEAN Humanitarian Assistance Coordinator to mobilize more resources and coordinate with ASEAN leaders and partners worldwide. Last but not least, we believe in people-to-people connectivity. So the National Youth Council Singapore has also spearheaded the ASEAN Youth Fellowship, where young ASEAN leaders like yourselves from the 3P sectors, the public, the private, and the people sectors will come together for a one-week exchange program to network and mindshare to foster greater collaboration to bring about greater prosperity in the region. Our Ministry of Education also provides ASEAN scholarships to our outstanding young ASEAN students to pursue an education in Singapore. As an education hub, we aspire to use education to bring greater connectivity to the ASEAN youths. Singapore and India also enjoy close friendships between our leaders. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, hosted PM Modi to a vegetarian dinner at one of Singapore's best Indian restaurant, Komala Villas, before official meetings to commemorate 50 years of bilateral relations. Singapore is also the second largest trading partner of India in ASEAN. We also enjoy strong cooperation in maritime security, ensuring freedom of navigation in the Indo-Pacific region. 2019 is also the 25th anniversary of the Singapore-India Maritime Bilateral Exercises. PM Modi was also the keynote speaker at the 2018 Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, a premier conference for Asia-Pacific security cooperation. At the start of my presentation, months shared wide, ASEAN and India are important friends to us with these 2 maps. While we are a little red dot on the map, let us develop and prosper together as one region through physical and digital connectivity. Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. Now I would request the delegates from Thailand to come and make their presentation.
नमस्कार हेलो हेलो या नमस्कार आज हम आपके सामने थोड़ा सा बताना चाहता हूँ थाईलैंड के बारे में या My name is Surat from Thailand. Yeah, we would like to welcome you to amazing Thailand. Okay, so I would like to be describing you about the fact of Thailand that you might not find in internet, or you know it, a little of Thailand that you have missed out from the past. Basically, Thailand have the population of 67 million, and we have the team of Amazing Thailand to cover the topic for you today. Now, come to the first topic here. First, we have amazing tourism. Now, when we speak about tourism of Thailand, it's not about just Bangkok or Pattaya. Many people visit Thailand only 2 locations. But what we would like to share you is further more than that. First, we have Chiang Rai. Chiang Rai is situated in the northern province of Thailand, and we do have beautiful places such as Wat Rong Khun. This temple has been built for 15 to 20 years, and even currently till date, they are still building it up. And we have Sing Park, where you can have the balloon festival here. Next location would be Ubon Ratchathani. In Ubon Ratchathani, we have 3,000 bok. In English, we call it 3,000 hole, in which the nature have made the whole of 3,000 in those areas, like Grand Canyon in US. And next we have the lighting temple at night. For the next location is a Trat. Trat is quite away in the southeast province of Thailand, and we do have beautiful beaches and sea over here, oceans. Next is Kanchanaburi. Kanchanaburi is full of forestry, and we have beautiful waterfalls, as well as railway, which was built during back to the World War II. Down south, we have Pattani province, in which there are beautiful mosques and also the cultural heritage that is still kept in the southern part of Thailand. Next is Amazing Smile. I will hand over to my friends.
Okay, the part Amazing Smile. I think everyone know when you visit Thailand that Thai people always smiling. So many countries have unique nickname. For Thailand, it certainly has one for the fascinating known as the land of smile. For good reason, all you see are Thai people keep smiling, even you go on the street, at the office or in the university and so on. The fact we have something beneath our smile is that the thing we call sympathy and kindness. We always helping each other no matter what the situation is. Once, for example, in the peak below, that a big marathon charity happened about years ago by the most popular rock singer. So at that time, all the money was donated to the hospital to all over Thailand. Next part is about Thai food. I think many people know that Thai cuisine is well known for its spiciness. There is a great variety of Thai food for you to try, both main dishes and dessert. You can also try local foods which are different in each part of the country. So what do you think about Thai street food? Maybe you know Tom Yam Kung, papaya salad, and mango with sticky rice. But one thing I recommend you to try is Pad Thai. Pad Thai is one of well known that when you go to visit Thailand, you should try. And next, this video will show you how is it. Please.
Pad Thai was created during the regime of Field Marshal Black Pipun Songkram, signifying Thai nationalism at the time. Pad Thai has been famous since World War II. Easy to cook and healthy. Today, anyone and any nationality can enjoy the dish. Noodles are made from rice, the same grain used for rice with barbecue pork, rice with chicken, crispy rice, and chilled rice. Thais love Jan noodles and name it after Chanthaburi province. Known not just for delicious noodle, Chanthaburi is also famous for traditional jewelries and mats and the durian fruit. Bean sprouts come from green beans. Thais learn how to grow bean sprouts in our elementary schools, where we also learn Thai classical dance, Thai classical music, Thai royal dance, and Thai drum dance. The sauce is made from a mixture of tamarind, originated from Africa. Tamarind can also be found in the fertile soils of Phetchabun province in the north of Thailand. Locals believe the tamarind tree is holy and use it to ward off evil spirits such as the flying ghost, the glowing ghost, the hungry ghost, also Dracula. Pad Thai is not complete without dry shrimps. Good dry shrimps come from the south of Thailand, which is known for a beautiful coral reef. There must be tofu in Pad Thai. This can be found in Chinatown. Simply dice it, Stir it and fry it with a sweet radish and eggs. Pad Thai is normally served on a plate, but if you prefer authenticity, try having it on banana leaf with banana blossoms on the sides. Banana tree trunks are also used for Loi Krathong festival to feed pigs and also the practicing Muay Thai. Order Pad Thai anywhere, on the streets or in a fancy restaurant. Eat it on land or on water, everywhere in Thailand. This is the story of Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in amazing Thailand.
Thank you. So next, let's move on to the Thailand fact. Bangkok have longest name in the world according to Guinness World Recorded. In many words come from Bali and Sanskrit language. And also we found that the Bali and Sanskrit words still being as a part of our real name and in many provinces in Thailand. So for Bangkok real name, my friend gonna show you what is it.
This is the full name of Bangkok. กรุงเทพมหานครอมรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทรายุทธยามหาดิลกภพนพรัตน์ราชธานีบุรีรัมย์อุดมราชนิเวศมหาสถานนววิมานอวตารเสด็จสักกะวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์ It's our capital name and it's a lot of words that from Bali and Sanskrit. So I can say to everyone here that this civilizational connectivity between India, Southeast Asia and Thailand is not a new invention. We already have it for a long time, for 2,000 years ago. And now what we are going to do is just only reconnect our civilizational connectivity. And also we share a lot of religion, languages. You can see the largest, one of the largest Ganesha statue in Thailand. It's very large and tall outside India. So not only civilizational connectivity, let me talk about the physical connectivity. Today, a lot of people keep speaking about connectivity, physical connectivity, road connectivity. And why physical connectivity? Because it's the cheapest mode of transportation that allowed the common man, the ordinary people, to cross the country freely, to cross the border freely. Why crossing the border? Simple answer. If you are here in the northern India, imagine you wake up in the morning in Manipur, and then you drive to Myanmar, visit lunch, have lunch in Mandalay, and you cross the border to Thailand at Mae Sot, and then you passing Thailand to Laos, having dinner in Vientiane, have a nice sleep, and then going to visit your friend Bin from Vietnam, and then you can go to the southern part, visit the Wanderer monk in the capital city of Phnom Penh, and you come back to Thailand again, go down to the south, you visit Thailand, and then you pass to Malaysia, you visit the truly Asia in Malaysia, you go down again further to Singapore, visit the garden, the green garden, take a ferry to Indonesia, Brunei, and Philippines. This is a connectivity that we would like to, all of us coming together, join together, make this connectivity happen. And last but not least, let me update about Thailand. We are going to have an election in March, 24th March. So we would like you guys to stand with us, and we now ready to have power back to the people. And this is what all about Thailand. Thank you so much. ขอบคุณครับ and ดันยวัฒน์
ขอบคุณค่ะ
After this powerful presentation from Thailand, I would like to invite delegates from Vietnam to give their presentation.
Namaste.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ming Ang, and I'm here with my friend
Phương Hiền.
So today is our great privilege to represent Vietnamese youth to participate in the Youth Summit in India, along with other Asian Indian delegates. And we would like to extend our deepest appreciation and gratefulness for the warm hospitality of Indian government and Indian Foundation for organizing this meaningful event. And today is a very special day for us, Vietnamese people, because according to the lunar calendar, today is the last day of 2018, and we're going to celebrate the Lunar New Year here in India with all of you.
So firstly, we would like to show you something interesting about Vietnam through a short video. So please pay attention to the screen. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed the video. So after watching the video, I guess many of you can see some familiar scenes when you think of Vietnam. So now let me introduce in detail about Vietnam. I'll go through some basic information first. So as you know, Vietnam is located in the Southeast Asia. It's bordered with China, Cambodia, and Laos. Vietnam has a unique shape of an elongated S with a total land area of more than 300,000 kilometers squares and a long coastline of more than 3,000 kilometers with lots of beautiful sights. And according to the 2018 nation census, the total population of Vietnam is around 95 million people, ranking 14th among the most populous countries in the world.
Despite being such a war-ravaged country in the past, Vietnam is now a very beautiful and peaceful country. Vietnamese people are very friendly, easygoing, and always smiling people. In Vietnam, football is the most prevalent sport, along with badminton, swimming, shooting, and etc. Supporters of Vietnam team, regardless of their age, often comes and cheer for the national team. In 2018, Vietnam football has achieved some outstanding results. You are witnessing the moment when we're the winner of AFF Suzuki Cup. Most recently, we reached the quarterfinals in Asian Cup. Some of our outstanding faces you can see here is Nguyễn Thị Ánh Viên, our national swimming athlete. And after that, we also have Hoàng Xuân Vinh, gold medalist in shooting in Rio Olympic 2016. Vietnamese people also pay a lot of attention to education, and we also achieve many fruitful results. 2018 is a golden year for us, Vietnamese people, when we participated in International Mathematics and Science Olympiad and came home with 8 gold medals.
And in terms of Vietnamese culture, it is one of the oldest in the Southeast Asia. It is influenced by several other cultures like Chinese culture, Champa or Khmer culture, or the Western cultures. So about the Vietnamese food, the thing I guess travelers want to explore the most when they travel to a country, Vietnamese cuisine is really diverse with the flavors ranging from spicy, sour to sweet. And here you can see on the screen that is the steamed rice, one of the dishes that appeared in almost Vietnamese meal. And for the another thing is nước mắm, as you can see on the screen here. Nước mắm is the salty fish sauce made by layering the anchovies and the salt in a wooden barrels and let them ferment for around 6 months. That is the ingredients used in most Vietnamese recipes. And the last one, I guess many of you here already have a chance to taste it. It's called phở, a kind of noodle soup, including the rice noodle with the beef or the chicken soup and with lots of kind of vegetables. About the Vietnamese costume, we have the most popular Vietnamese costume is áo dài, the one Minh Anh and I am wearing now. Besides that, every region in Vietnam also has its own kind of clothes. For example, in the north, females usually wear something called áo tứ thân, as you can see on the screen. The áo tứ thân including 4 parts, and it usually wears with a large hat called nón ngoại thao. Yeah? And another costume can be áo bà ba. That's the kind of colorless shirts, and they're usually worn by women in the Mekong Delta from a long ago. For the last picture is the Vietnamese conical hat. That hat is really, it has numerous uses. It can be the fan during the hot summer days. It can be the basket for the women when they go to the market, or it can be used with lots of other kind of traditional costume like áo dài or áo bà ba. Besides that, Vietnam also has lots of kinds of festivals. I'll mention here two typical festivals in Vietnam. The first one is the Lunar New Year Festival. As Manan mentioned before, the Lunar New Year Festival is the biggest national festival held on the first day of the first month in Vietnam lunar calendar. So on this occasion, the whole nation loud tunes for the family get-togethers. And also in this occasion, there are lots of fascinating activities like visiting temples with families or getting the calligraphy. As you can see on the screen, the calligraphy is believed to bring luck, health, and wealth. Another typical festival I want to mention is the Mid-Autumn Festival. This one takes place on the 15th August, also in the lunar calendar. This festival revolves around children, and it consists of lots of exciting activities like watching lion dance. Next slide, please. Yeah, you can see on the screen is the lion dance, or eating mooncakes, or playing with lanterns.
Trust me, Vietnam still had a lot of things to discover. Vietnam tourism has been on the rise for the last few years, and many of our destinations have been recognized by UNESCO. Ha Long Bay is a telling example. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and popular travel destination in Quảng Bình province. The name Ha Long in Vietnamese it means descending dragon. In 2012, New Seven Wonders Foundation officially named Ha Long Bay as one of New Seven Natural Wonders of the world. As you may remember, yesterday our Vietnam ambassador to India have mentioned this extraordinary destination, Sơn Dòng Cave. It is located near the Laos-Vietnam border. It is the largest known cave passage in the world by volume and its spectacular scenery. Floating market have been a way of life and trade for Mekong Delta dwellers for over 100 years. You can find all sorts of fruits being sold here, especially exotic regions. Go early in the morning, as the market is the best during this time, and you can enjoy beautiful views of the sunrise along the way. Vietnam is also endowed with over 3,000 kilometers of stunning coastline, with full of infinite stretches of powdery sand, tropical island, and countless coves and lagoons just waiting for you to be discovered. Us, Vietnamese people, believe that seeing is believing. What we have presented may only last in your mind for a few moments, but if you visit Vietnam, I can guarantee that those experiences will definitely last for a lifetime.
So now, on behalf of Vietnamese delegates, we would like to give you a small gift, which is a Vietnamese song called Xinh Tươi Việt Nam. Yeah, please welcome on the stage the two singers from Vietnamese delegates.
Hello. Oh, good evening. A song from Vietnam as a present for all of you. The music, please.
Người con gái bé xinh đạp xe trên phố đông, tà áo trắng bay bay, lòng vui như nở hoa. Em mỉm cười xinh tươi nơi phương trời 20, niềm tin tương lai đón chờ em. Lòng tha thiết yêu đời dần dần trên phố đông, dần dần trong mây em ngàn muôn tiếng phố đông. Nhớ mỉm cười 20, em xinh tươi, tự tin em cô gái Việt Nam. Mai đây em tung bay bay đến những chân trời xa, thì hãy luôn em trong tim tiếng nói người Việt Nam. Dành tình yêu tặng cho đời, dành tình yêu tặng cho người, và niềm tin trong trái nụ cười em luôn trên môi, cả thế giới sẽ nhận ra một Việt Nam luôn hân hoan trao dâng sức sống qua thời gian. Hãy bay cao tận chân trời, hãy giang tay cho mỗi người, và giờ đây tôi vui khi gặp em. Xin chào em.
Thank you. Taking this opportunity, I would like to thank India and ASEAN friends for making this day so enjoyable. Today is the last day. In Vietnam, people are celebrating the last day of the dog, and we'll move to the day of the pig tomorrow. As a tradition of Vietnam, we would like to wish everyone a happy and a prosperous New Year. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Vietnam, for the lovely presentation. I would like to thank all the other 10 ASEAN countries who have made their presentation today. And we have a short announcement for today. We'll be having Northeast India Culture program in this hall at 7:30 p.m., followed by a cuisine festival right outside. So I would like to request everyone to please be here down floor by 7:10 p.m. Thank you.